Welcome to Maydwell Yoga. My name is Amy, and I'll be guiding you through your 60-minute neurogenic yoga practice. So for this practice, the first portion of the class will be a mixture of asana, breathwork, and somatic movement. And the second portion of the class will be a somatic meditation. So for this meditation, we'll invite the neurogenic tremoring process into the body and then simply clear the mind and observe sensation, observe how that process unfolds in the body. This neurogenic tremoring is believed to be the body's inbuilt biological mechanism to discharge stored tension and trauma. So the belief is that anytime there's a traumatic experience where the body has unused fight, flight, or the body goes into freeze, or as well if there's any chronic tension chronic stress that builds tension into the body slowly over a long-term basis, that this tremoring process will unwind and discharge that stored tension and trauma in a safe and slow and gentle process. So this stored tension and trauma can show up in the body as chronic pain or limited mobility, maybe as a non-ideal posture pattern and various ways like this. So with regular tremoring over time, you can see some of that chronic pain start to dissipate. And the two things to note about this process is that it is a gentle process and a physical process. So what I mean by that, it's a process that really benefits from moving slowly, small bites, and what I mean by it's a physical process is that it's purely taking place in the body doing what it needs to do for itself. So there's no need to have emotions or thoughts tied to the process. If at any point strong emotions or racing thoughts start to happen, or if anything is physically uncomfortable, you have the opportunity there to take a break and then come back into the tremoring. I'll demonstrate how to do this later on, and that kind of ties back into it being a gentle process. So the habit of taking breaks not only helps the current session be comfortable, safe, and beneficial, it also helps rewire the brain-body connection to process tension and trauma in these small bites, which helps open up those channels for more future release as your body becomes more and more comfortable with it. Okay, so with all that in mind, we'll start lying on our backs in supine butterfly. So bringing the soles of the feet together, allowing the knees to rest out towards the ground. We'll just drop in here by breathing into our body's full capacity for breath. So on your next inhale, breathing in through the nose, filling the belly completely. Continuing the inhale, filling the chest. Taking one final little sip in of air at the top. And as you exhale through the nose, reversing that pattern. So allowing the air out of the top of the throat, then continuing to empty the chest, emptying the belly. Again, deep inhale through the nose, filling the belly, feeling it expand in all four directions. Continuing to fill the chest, feeling the rib cage widen. Taking in that one more sip of air at the top. And reversing that direction, letting out the tiny sip. Releasing the air from the chest, feeling the chest naturally drawing inwards back to center. Continuing to release the air from the belly. Belly naturally draws into center. Taking 2 more rounds of this complete expansion of breath in the body at your own pace. Keeping the muscles of the face nice and relaxed. Feeling a bit of a gentle release all throughout the torso as you exhale. Once you've completed your 2 rounds, gently starting to bounce the knees, flapping the wings of the butterfly. Maybe closing down the eyes, tuning into your body, allowing this movement to be as big or as small, as fast or as slow, as feels good for you today. Coming into your own rhythm, your own vibration for this movement. Nice, gentle breathing, soft belly, relaxed face. Bringing that movement to a close. On your next inhale, hugging the knees into the chest. Exhale, giving everything a nice tight squeeze. Finding a little bit of rocking side to side. Then coming back to stillness at the center, releasing the hands. They can land anywhere on the body that feels good or come along the outsides of the body. Once again, closing down the eyes, tuning into your own version of this movement, and we're just going to run in the air upside down. So moving the legs as quickly or as slowly as you like, through whatever range of motion feels interesting or feels good. Just running upside down. In the belly, nice and soft. Muscles of the face, relax. Nice, steady breathing. Eventually bringing that movement to a close. On the next inhale, hugging the knees into the chest. Exhale, giving everything a nice tight squeeze. Turning the head side to side. Feeling a nice gentle massage along the back of the skull. Bringing that to stillness, placing the palms of the hands on top of the knees. Inhale, lengthening the arms so you have your own arm's length distance for the knees. Exhale, bringing the soles of the feet directly to the earth. Arms long alongside the body, palms facing the earth. As you inhale through the nose, tilting the pelvis, lifting the hips up off the ground, soles of the feet press into the earth, just coming into a nice, gentle, low bridge here. On an exhale, slowly lowering each vertebrae of the back, the low back, the hips, and the glutes back down to the earth. Inhale, tucking the pelvis, pressing the feet into the earth, lifting back up into bridge. Squeezing the shoulder blades closer together, walking the arms closer together, clasping the fingers underneath the back, allowing the hips to lift a little bit higher here with the support of the arms. If you prefer, you can take another round of the same bridge we did the first time. And then exhale, separating the hands, arms come back to the sides, slowly lowering all the way down to the earth. Palms of the hands to the earth, soles of the feet pressing into the earth, knees tracking towards the ceiling. On an inhale, gently lifting the hips back up into bridge, maybe coming a little bit higher on this third round, naturally finding a little more space in the body through this movement. Nice, steady, gentle breathing, keeping the jaw relaxed. And on an exhale, slowly lowering back down. Once the low back and glutes are completely on the earth, walking the feet a bit further apart so the outside edges of the feet are along the outside edges of your mat. Taking a nice deep inhale through the nose here. As you exhale, allowing the knees to fall over to one side. Inhale, lifting back to center. Exhale, descending the knees to the other side. Moving through this windshield wiper legs motion with the breath at your own pace. And coming into your own rhythm with this movement. Eventually pausing at the center with the knees tracking towards the ceiling, then walking the feet closer together so they're once again in line with your hips. We're gonna move through some pelvic tilting. So on your inhale, tilting the pelvis forward so you have a nice C curve with the low back. Exhale, slowly moving through neutral center. Then tucking the pelvis up so the low back is pressing into the earth. Inhale as you move through neutral at center. Continuing to tilt the pelvis to find that nice C curve. Exhale, moving through center, tucking the pelvis in, pressing the low back gently into the earth. Moving through this pattern with the breath, coming into your own pace, your own rhythm, just observing what's alive in the body here, moving as quickly or as slowly as you'd like through your own natural, comfortable range of motion. The simple movements, but a lot can be happening in the body. The more we pay attention, the more the body shares with us. The next time you're at center, pausing at center, you're going to take one more round of our completely expansive breathing. If you'd like, you can bring the hands to rest on the belly or the rib cage. Taking a deep inhale through the nose, filling the belly completely. Continuing to inhale, filling the chest. Taking one more little sip in at the top. And exhaling through the nose in the opposite order. So releasing the air from the top of the throat. And continuing to empty the chest. And releasing the air from the belly. Feeling how the body naturally relaxes, melts into a little more softness with this exhale. On the next inhale, taking the arms out into a T position on the ground, rounding the fingers like you're holding the tops of light bulbs in each hand. And we're going to move through internal and external rotation of the shoulders. So rotating that left shoulder externally, hand flips back. So opening that shoulder blade comes down the back as you rotate the right shoulder internally. So top of the shoulder comes up and over, hand rotates back. Inhale as you switch, moving through neutral. Exhale as you rotate that right shoulder externally, hand flips back. Left shoulder comes up and over, internal rotation. Inhale, moving through neutral. Just taking this movement through your own range of motion, keeping it comfortable and supportive. We're going to start to add on. So allowing the head to turn towards the arm, which is in external rotation. Inhale, head moves through center. So when the right arm is externally rotated, looking towards the right hand. Inhale, moving through center. And if you feel complete with this, you can start to bring this motion into your own rhythm. Or if you'd like, there's one more part we can add on, which is movement of the knees. So allowing the knees to move in the opposite direction, which your head is looking. So as you look towards the externally rotated shoulder, if that's the left one, knees fall right, knees lift back to center on the inhale. As you exhale, externally rotating the right shoulder, allow the knees to drop to the left, head looks towards the right hand, and inhaling through center. I'll give you guys several rounds of breath to explore this movement in your body. And moving as slowly or as quickly as you would like. Movements can be as big or as small as feels right for you. The next time you're in center, pausing at center, knees tracking towards the ceiling, arms can just relax out to the sides. We'll take one more round of that expansive breath. Deep inhale through the nose, filling the belly. Continuing to inhale, filling the chest. One more sip of air in at the top. Exhaling in the opposite order, allowing the air out of the top of the throat. Continuing to empty the chest. Releasing the air from the belly. Bringing the arms long alongside the body, palms facing the earth. We're going to move through the same round of 3 bridges, but adding on a little bit of pelvic tilt in between. So on your inhale, tilting the pelvis, creating that nice C curve of the low back. As you exhale, moving through neutral, pressing the low back into the earth, then pressing the feet into the earth for a little bit of power. Inhale, peeling the spine up off the ground, coming into a nice, gentle first bridge. Steady breathing in and out through the nose. And on your next exhale, slowly lowering vertebrae by vertebrae. Back comes back down to the earth. Tilting the pelvis up so the low back is pressed gently into the earth. And as you inhale, rocking the pelvis forward, creating that nice, gentle C curve. As you exhale, pelvis moves back through neutral, low back pressing into the earth for a moment here. As you inhale, feet press into the earth, lifting up into your bridge, shimmying the arms closer together, shoulder blades squeezing closer together, clasping the hands together, and then switching the clasp. So switching which finger is on top and which thumb is on top. So it's different from your normal habit, different from the first round. Yeah, keeping the knees tracking towards the ceiling. On the next exhale, releasing the hands, slowly lowering vertebrae by vertebrae. Once the hips reach the floor, keeping that low back, gently pressing into the earth for a moment. And as you inhale, tilting the pelvis, finding that C curve. Exhale, rounding the back. Low back presses into the earth for a moment. And inhale, lifting up to one final bridge. Nice, gentle, steady breathing here. As you exhale, slowly lowering down. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Pelvis stays tucked in. Low back pressing into the earth for a moment here. And as you inhale, pelvis rocks forward, creating that nice C curve. And exhale, returning the spine to neutral. Inhaling here. As you exhale, legs come long along the ground. Arms come long along the ground overhead. We'll take one ecstatic stretch here. So on the next inhale, stretch, stretch, stretch the body, fingertips to toes, feeling a gentle tug all along the spine. Stretch, 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 stretch. Exhale, relax, release, melting into the earth. As you inhale, rolling over onto your belly. Forehead comes to the mat. We'll take one ecstatic stretch, laying on our belly. So on the next inhale, gently lifting the arms, legs, head and neck ever so slightly off the ground, and stretch, 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 fingertips to toes. So if you could grow longer than your natural length, stretch, 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 stretch. Exhale, relax, release, melting into the earth. And just gently rocking the head side to side, feeling a little massage along the forehead. Coming back to stillness at the center. Bringing the hands back so the palms are on the mat, hands are underneath the shoulders. Shimmying the legs together so the insides of the legs are touching. On the next inhale, gently lifting the head, neck, and shoulders ever so slightly into a baby cobra. Exhale, slowly lowering down, landing for a moment here. And inhale, pressing the hips up and back into a child's pose. You can take a wide leg child's pose if you like. Just taking a little bit of time here in this basic shape to explore some small movements. So any little stretches, joint rolls, maybe rocking side to side. Anything that your body is instinctually drawn towards in that basic shape of child's pose. And on the next inhale, lifting up into tabletop. I'm going to move through a few cat-cows. So exhaling here at neutral. Inhale, dropping the belly, gently looking up. Exhale, rounding the back, looking towards the belly button. Inhale, dropping the belly, looking up. Exhale, rounding the back, looking towards the belly button. One more. Inhale, coming into cow pose. Exhale, rounding the back into cat. Then we'll meet in neutral. We'll bring a little extra charge to the glutes. So on the next inhale, reaching the right leg back, toes pointed towards the back of the room. We're just going to pulse 5 times, engaging the glute as we slightly lift the leg up. So inhale, pulsing up. Exhale, relaxing to neutral. Inhale up. Exhale, neutral. Inhale up. Exhale, neutral. Inhale up. Exhale, neutral. And inhale up. Exhale, neutral. On your next inhale, ecstatic stretching this left leg. So from the top of the femur through the pointed toes, stretch, 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 stretch this left leg. And exhale, relax, returning the leg, the knee to the earth in tabletop. Inhale, reaching the right leg towards the back of the room, pointed toes. Exhaling here. And inhale, pulsing the right leg up, firing up that glute. Exhale, neutral. Inhale, pulse. Exhale, neutral. Inhale, pulse. Exhale, neutral. Inhale, pulse. Exhale, neutral. And inhale, pulse. Exhale, neutral. Inhale, ecstatic stretching that right leg from the top of the femur through the toes. Stretch, 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 stretch. And exhale, relax, release, returning that right leg to the mat in tabletop. We'll take that one more time out to the sides. So inhale, lifting the bent left leg up. So leg is bent in about 90 degrees. We're going to pulse, firing up the side glute. So inhale, lifting the knee higher. Exhale, neutral. Inhale, lift the knee. Exhale, neutral. Inhale, lift the knee, squeezing that side glute. Exhale, neutral. Inhale, lift. Exhale, neutral. And inhale, lift. Exhale, neutral. Now straightening that right leg out. One more time, ecstatic stretch. That whole right leg. Inhale, stretch, 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 stretch. Femur all the way through the legs to the tippy toes. And exhale, relax, release. Bending the leg, coming back to tabletop. Now on the right side, inhale, lifting that bent leg. Exhaling here. And we'll pulse. Inhale, lifting the knee a little bit higher, squeezing that side glute. Exhale, neutral. Inhale, lift. Exhale, neutral. Inhale, lift. Exhale, neutral. Inhale, lift. Exhale, neutral. And one more time, inhale, lift. Exhale, neutral. Inhale, lengthening that right leg. Exhaling here. And inhale, ecstatic stretch that whole right leg. Stretch, 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 as if it could grow longer. And exhale, relax, release. Returning to tabletop. Taking a deep inhale through the nose, filling the belly. Long, slow exhale out of the mouth as you sit the hips back into your child's pose. Finding a little bit of stillness, this time in child's pose. Feeling the soles of the feet, feeling the hips, feeling into your heart. As you inhale, walking the hands back towards the knees, exhaling for a moment here, and inhale, rolling all the way up to kneeling. Can come into a comfortable seated position, and I'll demonstrate what we're going to move through next as we transition into the tremoring portion. Yeah, so I'll demonstrate. You can just watch it once and then I'll voice cue you again through it later. So no need to memorize anything. We'll start in supine butterfly with the soles of the feet together along the center body line, knees tracking out. Starting with the feet just about 6 inches from the torso, arms long along the sides, palms facing the earth. Sorry. You'll have the option here if you'd like for a little more charge if you want it, just to lift the hips up into a butterfly bridge. I'll time this for you for 1 minute. Feel free to come down a little bit earlier if you do feel complete before that 1 minute mark. Then shifting the feet a little bit further so they're about a foot away from the torso along that center body line. We'll bring the knees just about 2 inches higher, holding them here for 2 minutes, just observing what's alive in the body. Then again, lifting 2 inches for 2 minutes. One more time, 2 inches for 2 minutes. Then I'll invite you to bring your soles of the feet to the earth, legs together next to each other, feet and legs next to each other to start. Then for the remainder of the tremoring session, we'll have about 6 more minutes from here. You can allow your body and the experience of the tremors that you're having to guide your body's shape for the rest of the time. If at any point you'd like to take a break, simply bringing the legs and arms long along the mat. If there's still more tremoring happening than you'd like, you can just flex the hands and feet. That's the body's inbuilt braking mechanism for the tremors. Then when you're ready, you can take any shape to come back into the tremoring. There's no need to go through the whole setup again. At the end of the tremoring portion, I'll invite you to bring the tremors to a close. Then find any comfortable position on your back, side, or belly for 3 minutes of stillness, body and mind for integration. Okay, so you can come on down into your supine butterfly and bringing the feet, soles of the feet together along the center body line, knees tracking out, feet just about 6 inches away from the torso. If you'd like to take that butterfly lift. And go ahead and lift the hips. Just about 30 more seconds for the butterfly lift, if you'd like to take them. Slowly lowering the hips back down to the earth. Moving the feet a little bit further so they're about a foot more or less away from the torso. Then lifting the knees just about 2 inches higher. Taking a nice, generous breath. Deep inhale through the nose, filling the belly. Long, slow exhale out of the mouth. Knowing you have this tool of generous breath available to you at any point during your session if you'd like to take one. Once again, lifting the knees just about 2 inches higher. One more time, lifting the knees just about 2 inches higher. Bringing the soles of the feet to the mat, feet next to each other to start, and letting your body's instinct guide the shape you take for the remainder of the session. Just about 3 more minutes of tremoring. Maybe taking a moment to share out loud something you're observing in your body. Starting to bring your trunring to a close, making any final little movements that would feel good for you. Eventually making your way into a comfortable and supportive shape on your back, side, or belly. Then coming into stillness, body and mind for integration. Little bit less than 1 minute remaining in integration. Taking a nice final generous breath. Inhale through the nose, filling the belly. Long, slow exhale out of the mouth. Gently wiggling the fingers and toes. Bringing your attention to the sensation of your clothing and the air where it meets your skin. And starting to move any way that feels good for you, making any little stretches or joint movements, making your way into a comfortable seated position, taking a full 30 seconds to get there, keeping the eyes closed down. Gently rubbing the palms of the hands together, creating some heat, and bringing each palm over each eye. Inhaling through the nose, blinking the eyes open behind the hands. Exhaling out of the mouth, releasing the hands, starting to observe just the shapes and colors in your environment. So no need to label the objects or tell any stories. Just observing the quality, the colors, maybe how the light falls across the room. Eventually coming back to the technology that connects us. I'd just like to share a little bit of aftercare with you before I let you go. So one thing I'll invite you to do is drink a little bit more water than usual today. Drinking water after a tremoring session can further the benefits of the processing that happened during the session by rehydrating the muscles and tissues. You may experience tiredness, muscle fatigue, or a little bit of soreness following the session. All of this is normal. Consider resting if and when possible, if and when your body asks for it. And if it's available to you, a warm Epsom salt bath can feel really nice after tremoring as well. And then in the next 24 to 36 hours, you may also experience some spontaneous shaking or emotional fatigue. Again, all of this is normal. If you're curious about anything, have any concerns, any questions, or just anything you'd like to share in general, you can send me an email, amy@maydwellyoga.com. So amy@maydwellyoga.com. And then if this is your first experience with TRE or neurogenic yoga, please wait to shake for a couple of days to allow full integration of the session. And along those same lines, if you're just starting out your tremoring practice, we recommend no more than 3 times per week to start. And then as you get acclimated to the process and you're comfortable with more and more, you can eventually, tremor once a day if you like as your daily practice. So thank you so much for joining the class. Have a great rest of your day or evening. Namaste.